What's happening, everybody? I'm back. It's me, your resident supervillain, Mr. J. Washington, and I am here with my official review for Fox's Dark Phoenix. Now, I know this will come out early, so you have not seen it yet, but I'm letting you know there's gonna be spoilers because there is no other way to talk about this except for with spoilers, ladies and gentlemen. Before I go on and tell you about the movie, I know you all had to hear about the hilarious shit that happened during the all press screening. Like, they only did initially one screening, but then they did another one because of what happened. So we all are watching the movie at a movie theater out in Los Angeles. All the press from every outlet, every correspondence, blogs, things of the sort. It's about 10 minutes left into the movie with the final scene, the big shit that's about to happen. And first of all, floodlights went off in my theater twice, okay? Floodlights came on, like 2 times in the middle of it. Now, like during the third act. Then all of a sudden, the fire alarm goes off. And the movie shuts off. Everybody was just like, the fuck? So we sit here for a few seconds because everybody's stuck. It's the fire alarm. You're supposed to leave, right? But we're in this day and age where I know I'm not leaving out if I hear a fire alarm means somebody might be getting shot. Nonetheless, everybody's sitting there, and all of a sudden security guards go, excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, you all have to exit the theater. All I do is quiet. I just start busting the fuck up laughing because I was like, are you fucking serious? And I'm laughing because on top of everything else that I've seen in this terrible ass movie, this shit is awful. Listen. Look, I was one of the many people who have been openly vocal, who have consistently said that we did not need this movie. Why? Because Apocalypse was already ass awful. And they've proven that they cannot do the Phoenix saga correctly with X-Men The Last Stand. You tried to introduce the Phoenix in X-Men Apocalypse, and then you showed the trailers for Dark Phoenix, and it's like, oh, supposedly the Phoenix Force is in space now? It's like, what the fuck? Did nothing make sense? Now they got new uniforms when they had the comic book accurate uniforms? Why does none of this make sense? Why is none of this coherent and cohesive? This is the same timeline. These are the same people, but it doesn't. And okay, first of all, the movie starts out with a scene that is exactly the same to Shazam. It is Shazam's opening scene where, look, spoiler alert, if you ain't seen Shazam, fuck it, it's been out since since May something. When was that date? Sometime. It's been out for a while. The opening scene with Thaddeus Savanas in a car with his brother and his father in the driving, and all of a sudden, you know, Thaddeus gets transported to the Rock of Eternity and he comes back, and he's the reason that after he's fighting with his brother, he's the reason the car accident happens and his father becomes severely injured, and his brother as well, and his dad blames him. Basically, Jean Grey is driving down the road with her mother and father. Young Jean wants her parents to change the station. Her mom's like, no, after the song. And Jean's like, after a couple songs. You already said this already. Jean keeps making it turn, but it's not Jean, it's this force inside of her. Okay, keep in mind, it's the force inside of her, which we've always heard. The Phoenix has somewhat been in Jean all along, but then again, it's not. Whatever. Basically, she makes the car crash into a truck, flips over, kill her mama, and she thinks her daddy too. It's damn near the same fucking scene. Fast forward, we find out the wildest shit ever. Okay. Charles Xavier picks up Jean from out the hospital. Tells her both her parents are dead, blah, blah, blah. I can take you home. Like, I'll show you how to be, she was like, I'm broken. It's like, no, this is a pencil. Pencil is powerful. You can either write with a pencil, you can poke somebody's eye out. Who the fuck tells an 8-year-old this at the time? Out of all the shit. Okay? Then Charles picks Jean up, like I said, he takes her from the hospital. He's driving a car. Charles is paralyzed at this time. It is 1975. This is after the Cuban Missile Crisis. This is after the events of X-Men Apocalypse, which again, well, this is right before X-Men Apocalypse, but this is after the events of X-Men First Class. And I believe, yeah. So he's paralyzed. In 1975, I don't believe they had made the cars that were automated yet for people to drive who were paralyzed. I was like, how is this happening? Whatever. And then you're going to say, well, Charles is mutant. He's telepathic. Telepathic is not telekinetic where you move things with your mind. Again, no chauffeur. It's Charles driving. This shit gets so terrible. From cheesy lines Charles has a phone connected directly to the It's a fucking X phone, like the Bat phone, but it's connected directly to the president. Hello, Mr. President. This is Charles Xavier. We're sending the X-Men. Are you fucking serious? Then you find out that the entity that we see in space that we think is the Phoenix Force is not even the Phoenix Force. It's just a cosmic entity. I'm not going to go beat by beat for this movie. She is only called the Phoenix because after the shit that we see in the trailer where it hits her in her chest and she absorbs all of it, and she lives, the students called her the Phoenix because she rose from that dead out of the ashes. She was never ashes. She just was unconscious for a minute and woke back up. That is the only reason she's called the Phoenix and the only time she is called the Phoenix throughout this entire fucking movie. I am sorry. I am swearing so much and it's frustrating and hilarious how bad this film is. I get it. This is supposed to be a send-off. And for some, they just don't care. But Jesus Christ. Everybody already said you shouldn't do this. Now, every PG-13 film has a rule as well. You're allowed one fuck. One fuck, okay? We get to the point later where after Mystique is killed, spoiler alert, Jennifer Lawrence dies. Is anybody gonna miss her as Mystique? Probably not. Jennifer Lawrence dies thanks to Jean. Jean kills him. Yep, they flipped from Cyclops to Mystique. So Beast, he's pissed off at Charles, like, it's your fault she's dead, Chuck. And we didn't listen to you. And Mystique, Raven was gonna leave. All this shit. Beast basically goes to Genosha, hooks up with Magneto. Magneto's like, yo, him and Magneto get together, like, yo, we need to kill Jean, because Jean comes early and basically fucks up some military people. Gotta bring this up. Gotta bring this part up. The dialogue is the most horrible thing throughout this entire film. There's so many things back and forth in so many parts, so excuse me if I'm going all around with this, but it's so much that is so wrong. The dialogue is terrible. So after Jean basically kills Mystique, she floats away, and then she goes and finds herself in Genosha. She's with Magneto. She's got blood on her shirt. So she's trying to figure out, she's talking to Magneto, how do you stop killing people? How do you stop doing bad things? And the whole time Magneto's like, whose blood is that on your shirt? I just want to know how to stop killing people and how to be bad. Whose blood is that on your shirt? But what did you do to make it stop? Well, I thought from killing all these years. Never answered that question in, right? Like I said, fast forward. Beast links up with Magneto. And Magneto's like, yo, did Raven send you? And Beast was like, oh, you ain't know. Magneto's like, what? He's like, Raven's dead. And you just see Michael Fassbender, as Magneto go. It's a little quiver, right? And he was like, how did she die? It's like, Jean killed her. Then all of a sudden we hear that dramatic beat in the music, and he walks to a foot locker, opens it up, and you would think it's a whole suit, and it's just his helmet in all black now, covered in a rag so it doesn't get dust on it. It's like, I guess. Go back to where I was telling you earlier. Beast is now teamed up with Magneto and another mutant and another dude who is a mutant who looks like he's a Pacific Islander, but he has dreadlocks, which are whips. Let that sit back for a second. Got dreadlocks that are whips. I wish Willow Smith with my hair was playing at that time, because it was like, yep, this is happening. So they meet up, and then it's Charles. Now it's Charles, Scott, Storm, and Nightcrawler. And they go. They're both trying to catch. They're in New York City to try to stop Jean and Jessica Chastain's character, who is an alien from the Dabari Empire that are shapeshifters. I bring all this up. I know you heard about the fact that the finale was changed of Dark Phoenix because it mimicked a certain other comic book movie that had recently come out. Guess which one I'm talking about? Shapeshifters, cosmic entity, being looking like it's on fire. You're right, 2 and 2 together. Sesame Street. No, it's Captain Marvel. Anyway, so the 4-on-4 meet. And Magneto's going, Charles, I'm going to kill the girl. And and Charles is like, hey, we can save her. And then, all this back and forth. And so Scott Summers says, if you touch her, I'll fucking kill you. I don't believe Ty Sheridan for a second in that moment. And I'm like, that is That is the one. That's the fuck you use it on. Oh, also, forgot this. When they meet up in the park and look like Central Park at night, they got regular clothes on. Nobody got on real uniform except for Magneto got on his helmet. Charles rolls up and sees Magneto and says, "Hello, friend." Magneto says, "Hey, cut the friend shit, Charles." I was like, "About goddamn time!" The fight is so bad. Basically, Jessica Chastain's character is part of an alien race that's trying to get the cosmic entity, not the Phoenix Force. Jessica Chastain's character originally starts out as a regular woman who's having dinner with her family when 3 look like meteors touch down on Earth. The dog is barking. First of all, to anybody in TV and movies, when your dog is barking like crazy, don't go see what the dog is barking at. Go the other fucking way. Because if that dog is barking, there is nothing good there. I am tired of seeing people go, "Well, maybe you should go check out what the dog's barking at." "Okay, come here, puppy. Luna, come here. Why are you barking?" And then you see all these aliens walking towards you, and it's too fucking late. It's too late. This movie is... Oh, there's a part after the fight that happens in the Central Park area, I believe it is. Charles gets teleported in by Nightcrawler to see Jean with Jessica Chastain's character on top of like a rising. And Charles is like, "Jean, you can do whatever you want. You can control this power. I believe in you." And she was like, "I can do whatever I want. Well, walk to me." He was like, "Jean, you know I can't." And she makes him get up. He hits his leg and his foot is bent like this way. And she makes him walk. It is the most weeble wobble marionette shit that is unnecessary. I felt so sorry for James McAvoy when Simon Kinberg was like, "All right, James, I need you to make your legs look like they're linguini. You have control, but no control. Your feet are turned inwards like he was hit with a sledgehammer like Kathy Bates did to James Caan in Misery. I want you to walk like your knees are broken. Walk like you're making a new hip-hop dance. Walk like your feelings aren't there anymore." And that's what the fuck he did. So Jessica Chastain is trying to control Jean. Of course, like Magneto tried to control Jean with the Phoenix and X The Last Stand. Again, same type of movie. You just try to flip the characters. At one point, Jessica Chastain gets a little bit of the power out of Jean, and then Jean starts reading Charles's mind. It's like, "I have hope for you. I'm your family. I love you and I care." And it's just, all of it's so stupid. Because then finally, they end up fighting, Jean pulls away. She blasts Jessica Chastain through a wall. She ends up killing all the other shape-shifting aliens. One that was a black dude who was like one of the last ones to die before Jessica Chastain. And I was happy your brother made it damn near to the end. Revolution. And then Jessica Chastain's character is trying to hold on to Jean to take the force out of her, the cosmic entity, because it's not a phoenix. And then Jean says, "You said my emotions make me weak. You're wrong. My emotions make me strong." And then take her into outer space, gives her all of the entity, blows up Jessica Chastain's character, then in the process blows herself up. And when she explodes, then there's a fiery phoenix in the sky. Yep. This shit is just so bad. The ending is the all typical Dark Knight ending, where now Charles is retired, he's in Paris having coffee, then all of a sudden up comes Magneto, "Fancy a game?" And, basically have a little back and forth discussion, and they end up playing chess. And as they're playing chess, you see in the sky, the phoenix soar by. You don't, for lack of better words, really need to see this. The trailers tell you everything. You can pretty much surmise everything else if you've seen X-Men The Last Stand. The track record of this is not good. This movie is not good. This is supposed to be the send-off. You couldn't even get Hugh Jackman to reprise his role as Wolverine to pop up somewhere in this. And the reason I said you don't, I know people are like, well, he died in Logan. Logan is set in the year like 2025 or something like that. This movie was set in 1992. So he could have been in it. He could have ran around. Remember, they freed him in X-Men Days of Future Past, so they could have ran into him somewhere. But you didn't. You had potential to make this a cohesive story to close this out, but you didn't. You could have used the actual character, the Shi'ar Empire, and would have made more sense, but you didn't. You wanted to go shapeshifters. So you're trying to say that you had to change your story because it mimicked Captain Marvel. Well, you did that yourself. You didn't ever call it the Phoenix Force, but you called your movie Dark Phoenix. It makes no sense. But this is the end of it, right? This is the last X-Men film. Yes, New Mutants is supposed to come around, but that's not in the last. That's one of the befores. So this is supposedly the last X-Men film of this franchise. And thank God it's over. You had a good start. It wasn't great. You had a good start with First Class. You had a decent follow-up with Days of Future Past. And you threw it all away with Apocalypse. And you completely incinerated the rest with Dark Phoenix. This movie is horrible. I hate to be so harsh and brash about it, but it is a bad film. And I know there are going to be people who watch this review, who are going to show other people and be like, see, this is what all movie critics talk about. They always say a movie bad because they don't feel what they want. No, the shit is just bad. For everybody who follows me, everybody who rocks with me, everybody who listens to the Mad Titan podcast, who listens to me whenever I'm on Collider, DC Movie News, Marvel Movie News, any place I'm at, if I'm going to be real with you, I'm going to be real with you. This movie is awful. So you can leave your thoughts in the comments below. You can like, subscribe, and click on the notification bell. If you plan on seeing this movie, let me know what you're going to think of what you're expecting. If you saw it already, tell me what you thought below. All right? Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Mr. J Washington, MRJAY. You should know how to spell Washington. Make sure you're joining my Supervillain Squad on Patreon, patreon.com/Mr. J Washington. I'm doing a contest till the end of June. A lucky winner will win a Blu-ray copy of Season 1 of Lost in Space, which also includes the unaired pilot from the original 1965 series. But you have to be a member of the squad, and you got to let me know that you're in to win, all right? And make sure you're checking out the Mad Titan podcast everywhere you get your podcast. Listen on, all right? That is the new Apple Podcast, Google Play Music, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, and so much more. It's everywhere. I'm there, and I get you caught up on everything happening in the Marvel and DC live-action cinematic universes. I will holler at y'all later. Oh, yeah, while you're on the channel, make sure you check out the Swamp Thing reviews with myself and Winston A. Marshall. Holler at y'all later. Take care. This movie